So welcome to the Centre for Biofield Sciences. I've agreed to take part in this very interesting distant healing study. We've got a long track record over 20 years of doing research into all different kinds of treatment systems, and so this is a standard procedure for us. As I understand it, we're working with a lady in the US, Kimberly.
Yeah, her name is Joyce Hawkes, and she's going to be in Glacier, Washington. And so it's early morning for us, and it's late night for her, and we're going to run the patient through 4 different technologies and see how her treatment is effective.
In that, both Kimberly and I will be using online live imaging techniques, biofield imaging and thermal imaging. And after that, the case will be done again with the other devices. So if we see some significant improvements, then we'll know not only is Joyce a good healer, but that healing is possible at a distance, and in this case, a great distance, because I think she's in Washington right now.
Exactly. Here in his sinuses and these lymph nodes here in his neck. So those are the issues we're going to be addressing today. And over here we have the PIP, which Dr. Streeter will discuss.
So simultaneously, as you can see, we've got both cameras side by side there filming the subject. And so it's a live session. So along with the infrared images, I've got a normal image. I'm taking a shot out of focus at the moment. And here we're seeing what we call the biofield image. It's a live image, you can see, and it's showing the brow chakras and the throat chakra. Corresponding issues I'm seeing here on the thermal. And then I'm picking up some other stuff in the digestive system. Otherwise, symmetry is nice, so we're going to look to see some changes primarily in the head area, I think, with this particular distant healing session we're doing. Certainly his whole field does seem to be a little bit more active. See this throat chakra, that's what we've mentioned, and lots of blue challenging the pink, which is what we want to see. We like to see symmetry. So when I see somebody like this, a nice symmetrical patterns in the biofield, that's a good start. But then when we look closer and we notice details where there's a lack of symmetry, or areas that we know to be a certain pattern or colour changing, then obviously that's significant for us. And by being able to grab these images, calibrate them with the thermal, calibrate those with the GDV, and also the medical data we're getting from the ES complex, we have a really good idea of this young man's state of health right now on many different levels. So the treatment that's ongoing, if it changes all our parameters, we'll be very impressed. Certainly I'm getting a really good response here in the throat. If I look at the first picture I took as a baseline, if I measured that surface area vis-a-vis that, noticeable difference already. So it's just doing a good job. I'll be interested.
She's also doing an EEG.
See, that's great. There's definitely something going on here. Because I wouldn't normally see this kind of pooling of that congestion in the throat chakra just clearing from just sitting there, unless he was maybe doing some sort of practice. You know, he could do chanting or some kind of meditation, and then we can see changes. But he's just sitting there, and so this is exciting.
I can also see some reduction in temperature from the initial screening, where there's a lot of white here around the mouth and down here in the neck. There's a lot of white, which is even hotter than the red areas. And so now what I see is there's a lot less white here, a lot cooler in the forehead, and down here through the neck. So it is getting fairly cooler.
Well, it's very exciting. I mean, there's a quite considerable reduction in the darker pixels in the centre of the throat centre. Probably by as much as, I don't know, 70%. And then the pinky red, what we see as a kind of congestion, pooling, that's also probably reduced by about 40 or 30%, just on a spot assessment.
There's a little bit of heat over here on the side
Yeah.
of the liver.
Yeah,
There's heat here on this right side, which is associated with the liver, more so than the left here. And on the ES complex, I remember it also showed that there was some issues with the liver.
image that darker pooling in the centre is
Bouncing
holding, yeah, but it's holding less interface area than it was originally. And you almost tell she's... I'm going to try it in a different filter, see what I can see. See, so when somebody's giving treatment, we often see this kind of particulate patterns when someone's in the room. So that's also quite fun. Very vibrant. See how it's all... He's nice and symmetrical there. Throat chakra.
Yeah, most of what I'm seeing here is just congestion in the face, tired eyes.
This filter can be quite useful when we're studying the sort of live process because we can see the gradations so much more clearly. They're really hyper accentuated. I know.
So she's been treating for about 10 minutes now.
I'm getting some huge stuff going on in his solar plexus right now. It's like,
Jumping around.
wow, he's just, I mean, this is quite significant. A little vibrancy to the subject right now. It's like he's super active. Wow. Did you see that? My God, that was awesome. I'm really glad you caught that. Just look at this, starting, I know that's in focus, but I mean it's just incredible. He's good. This Joyce lady is good.